What's up, you guys? I'm back with another video. Getting straight to it, we're going to be working on some shaping today. Before that, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, and turn on your post notifications so that you are notified every time I upload a new video. The hand is already prepped with some nails and blanks tips, and they are in the square shape, the tapered square shape. Now this is going to make it really easy for the first shape because we are going for that tapered square. So you're just going to cut it down to the preferred length of your choice. Once that is done, and this is how I personally do it, just my preference on how I do my shaping, not in any way, shape, or form saying this is how it is done. Again, just my personal preference. So I do go ahead and cut it to the exact length that I want. I will go back and file the free edge to make that evenly straight. I will go back against the sidewalls and file those inwards a little bit, but you don't want to file too much. Filing too much on one side can just cause the whole shape and the whole tip to completely mess up. So you're just going to go back in from one side to the other without over filing. Again, this is just my personal preference. Here you are going to see what the shapes look like together. You can see that they originally look more square than tapered, and here is how I shape mine. Next, we are going to be going into our coffin tips and how I do my coffins. I personally like to leave it at the length that it is. I will go in where the number is and make it in a stiletto shape. And I know we are going for a coffin, but this is how I do it. I'll go ahead and cut off the sides, make it in a stiletto, go ahead and file the sidewalls, make it evenly straight, again without over filing one side more than the other, cut off the tip, and now you have that coffin shape. And I like to integrate this in my shaping only because I feel like it makes it easier to get that perfect shape of a coffin. Some say ballerina, some say coffin. They're basically the same thing except the ballerina is just a little bit more tapered. Um, but this is how I do my coffins. Once the coffin is done, we're going to be going in with our third shape, and this is a stiletto. So for the stiletto, I will go ahead and again cut back down to the length that the nail is going to be. You're going to try and make sure you get it centered because that center is what's going to give the stiletto shape the point. Go ahead and cut it down all the way down the side to the free edge, and you're going to go back in and you're going to file again both sides of the sidewalls. Same thing with this one. For every shape you're making, make sure you do not overfile. Overfiling is going to mess up the shape of it all. Go back and forth, and when you're shaping, I personally like to pre-shape, makes it easier to file at the end, and it just saves a lot of time, in my opinion. You're going to keep going back and forth from one side to the other side, creating that point. I personally like my stilettos very pointy, and sometimes they can be dangerous. I'm not even gonna lie. I've stabbed myself a couple times with the stiletto. But to each their own. You can make it really pointy like I like them, or you can make them where they are a little bit more thicker at the tip and they do round up a little bit. But this is how I make my stiletto tips, and this is how I create that point. I do always turn the hands around of my clients and of course my practice hand just to make sure that the shaping is done correctly. You always want to get a view of the client's perspective just so you know that everything is being done correctly and you can see all the imperfections being done right there. Now that the shaping of the stiletto is done, we're going to be doing an almond shape. Now, for my almonds, I do like to trim it down a little bit over the size of what the client does request. Also, in a semi-stiletto shape, I will go back in and file the sidewalls to again make it into a stiletto. And I like to leave a little bit extra length because you can always take off, then add on, and this is how I like to work. It just makes me feel more comfortable with the length and knowing that I can still fix it. But what we're going to do now is go back in on the sidewalls and go and round off the tip and finish making the almond shape. Now a little bit of the clip did cut off. I was short on storage, but here's the rest of the video. You're just going to keep going back in and rounding off those corners so that it's no longer a coffin, because once you cut your stiletto you do have those coffin corners on the tip. I personally like to make my almond shapes a little bit more thinner, slimmer, and more pointier. I know there is some technicians who prefer them a little bit more rounded and a little bit more wide, and that's fine, to each their own. This is how I personally like to do my shaping. Once that is done, you're going to go back in and just make sure you flip the client's hand so you can see the shaping from their perspective and make sure you are satisfied with the tips and the shaping. If they're unsatisfied, I'm hoping they always bring it up because I want to be able to fix it while they're still in my seat, then be unhappy with the result when they leave my chair. Here I'm just taking off a little bit of that plastic that is left over after filing. You could always go back in with a buffer or a file and just go underneath that and remove it. I just went in and picked it off. But anyways, here you can see me adjusting it a little bit and making that more cleaner and more of an almond shape. Again, this is just my preference on how I like to shape my nails and my tips. Here I have my tapered square, which I'm not 100% happy with, so I'm going to go back in and reshape just a little bit. But there's a tapered square, how I shape my coffins, stilettos, and my almonds. We're also going to be doing a lipstick. We're going to be removing one of these fingers on this nail. You know who made it. So now that the tip is adhered, we're going to go ahead and trim it down to the desired length. And when I'm doing the lipstick shape, I personally prefer to do this at a 45-degree angle. Not everybody does it this way, again, just my personal preference. I do go back in with the file and I will crispen up the shape after it is cut. I personally like to work with these shears and it just works best for me. But yes, you guys, this is it. This is my shaping video. Again, just how I do this. If you guys like the video, if you guys have any suggestions, and if this video helped you out at all, go ahead and let me know down below in the comments. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, and turn on your post notifications so that you do get notified every time I upload a new video. If you missed my last video unboxing this Vita Bella hand, go ahead and check that out as well. I will leave that here. But that's it for this video, you guys. See you guys in the next one.